Good morning or good afternoon. I thought about what I read last night, the email exchange between Peter Alston and this abyss that goes under the name of Dewey Evans. I just can't even bear to say the name even. I thought, well, I could try to go through it all bit by bit and do videos about it. It just seems completely unnecessary. It's all been said. What I mean is I've said everything I can say about him. The mistake in some ways, and I can fall into this as much as anyone else, is the idea that you could actually pin him down in any way. But he's a complete abyss. That's what psychopaths are. And that's how confounding, and of what I was saying about the other day, how beguiling they are. People are still trying to think, well, no, he's okay. It's just that he's misguided. He just doesn't get it. He's not in a moral universe that you could understand. He's not in a moral universe at all. Morality, conscience are completely and utterly absent in him. You can't find it. He could give the impression that he is in people that he cares about, and obviously himself. In all that exchange, all the medicalese, and that's what it is just a fig leaf. It's just a fig leaf to hide the fact that he's the most anti-science individual you could possibly find. What it can all be reduced to is the statement that Felicity Lawrence very wisely and cleverly, in a way, made her the last line of that rather long article in The Guardian quite some time back, many months ago, in which he says, "She killed that baby, get it through your head." And all that medicalese, all that jousting and game playing, and that's another aspect of it. In that email exchange, that's him playing a game. In the same way that scumbag Snowden sits on that disgusting spiked program with his glasses on top of his head, leaning back and just playing this game and enjoying himself. It's purely a game to them, but it's a game of power that they just want to win and need to win. And once they're in it, they're never gonna. The idea that you're ever gonna find reason or rationality in them at all. They'll give the appearance, as he sometimes does, Evans, in that he's a mask. He gives the appearance sometimes that, oh yes, if you can find anything wrong with what I've done, I'll correct it. But everything's wrong with what you've done, you bastard. And you don't want to correct any of it. You won't reflect on any of it. It's all mask after mask after mask. In the same way that I said what summed up that article, the takeaway from that article of Felicity Lawrence is that last line. She killed that baby, get it through your head. Synonymous with that is, she's a witch, get it through your head. I've already told you why. Why you keep asking me. And they came to me, or I inserted myself, and then they all believed me. We've done this already. She's a witch, get it through your head. She killed that baby, get it through your head. She killed that one. Well, she wasn't even there at that one. Well, it doesn't matter, I can move the time. And then I can lie about the fact that I did that. The mistake is and it's a terrible mistake, and it's a mistake that anyone would have with dealing with a psychopath of any kind, is that you keep thinking there's something that they're going to get at some point. There's some conscience there, or there's something that is going to spark in them that say, oh, yeah, maybe I might be wrong about that. And they'll give you the flim flam as though that is what they are, but that's just another mask. It's just total and utter pure will to power is what he's operating on. When he destroyed the family, the Lewis family, Bonnie Lewis, Linda Lewis, when he ensured, because of some evil in his head, that daughter was taken away from her mother at gunpoint in America and split up and put into foster care. Why did nothing happen to him after that, when it became apparent and obvious that the daughter, and diagnosed by an actual doctor rather than him, why did nothing happen to him when it was diagnosed that the daughter had an actual chronic stomach condition which was causing her pain, and the mother was doing everything she could to get an answer for it? When that came out, why did nothing happen? I know, and we know, don't we, that there were campaigns, obviously, for years to try to get something done about Evans. After it was knowledge, and it would be knowledge to everyone, that his statement and his ensuring that family was split up, the mother and daughter were split up, that the child could have nothing, couldn't see her mum, and vice versa. Why was nothing done to it? Why wasn't he struck off then? Why was it ever possible for him to act as a quote unquote expert anywhere ever? To do anything ever with any level of responsibility? He shouldn't be a lollipop person. They're a billion times more responsible than he is. Why did nothing happen? Because same reason when certain police officers get away with murder, essentially. There's a ring fence around them and they're protected. There's a cabal around them and they're protected in that institution. And that's what happened to him there. It should never have been possible for him to be in the field of considered experts, so-called experts. He should never have been there. That should have been the end of him. If not the other case in which Judge Jackson said his evidence was worthless, that should have been the end of him. But they go on and on and on. Oh, I'm not gonna go through every response. Nobody's asking me to, and it's not that. I'm saying to myself, really, why I've probably done it in like 50 videos, what he is, about other responses, from 2 years ago. It's just more of the same. It's just more of the same. And maybe people will pick some things out of there. I'm sure they will, and that's great. But in a sense, if we don't get it yet, if somebody doesn't get what he is yet, you're never going to guess it. You could have enough 1,000 email exchanges with 1,000 other people, and it will just be more of the same. It's somebody telling you to get it through your head. Everything else is window dressing. Everything else is the mask of the medicalese that's around it. None of that actually matters. That's all. He just needs that to fool people. And he has fooled a lot of people, obviously. That's the con man. It's as though minutely trying to parse and trying to analyze exactly when he's conning you, I now see as a fool's errand. Because he's conning you all the time about everything, about himself, and about what he is. He's a walking con. But I don't know. It's sickening. It makes me, it's nausea, the nausea of looking into the abyss. It's spiritually, it's the dark shadow of evil, actually, that's staring back into you. He can never be reached. He's not meant to be reached. He's like, well, Southall is a mirror of him. And Meadow, there are these creatures about. And there'll be other ones out there. And people like that are governing countries. Oh dear. It's looking at it, thinking about it, makes you feel sick at heart, because the power that has been, if nobody had ever listened to him, he couldn't have caused that harm. But look at the range of people that have taken this. I've just realised that, I could be talking about Matthew Hopkins here, couldn't I? That's what it is. It is that. It is precisely that. I know Peter Hayes did that marvellous, very scholarly lecture about this, all the parallels. This is just dressed up in medicalese, which is, and this kind of talk of being a professional, it's all to fool you. I'm stumbling over words because I think none of it's necessary. If you can't see it, if you can't see what it is, he's safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. That's what he is. While people are dying, that's what he is. He's that mantra. Is the abyss of that mantra that will play forever while people are dying. Strokes, cancers, fertility being destroyed, sudden death, safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. The abyss of that. That's all it is. And his champions are the same. And the other aspect of it is that I don't need to go into it all. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Nobody's asking me to. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to be a fucking... It's not to do with how I feel about it. I'm just saying, is his champions... Let's take Snowden, who he quotes, by the way, one of the names he quotes. They flock together. They know each other. They recognise each other. He recognises Snowden as one of him. He recognises him as a fellow psychopath, person without conscience. And they get by and they can present themselves in certain ways. All these people taking them seriously. And they get away with the con. But what they recognise about each other is that they're game players. And Evans and Snowden on the same level. It's a game to them. It's just a game to win. A will to power. It's got nothing to do with science. Nothing to do with medicine. It's got nothing to do with truth. Nothing to do with justice. Nothing to do with reality. Reality doesn't matter to them. You could say they're in a kind of psychotic state. But they're in a psychotic state that huge numbers of people seem to chime in with and be beguiled by and believe in them and somehow be entertained by them as well. People are entertained by Snowden. People are entertained by Evans. people have weird kind of admiration of him. A kind of, but that's either part of the beguiling, or it's an echo in them, that there's something in them that admires that kind of, that will to power, to just to do it. In his time, Matthew Hopkins was needed, desired, wanted, the guy for, his kind of case. That's what it was. You heard about his kind of case up there in Norwich, down there in Chelmsford. He'd ride into town and say, "Oh, thank God he's here. Thank God Dowie Hopkins is here." Matthew Evans, it doesn't matter. They're of the same ilk, and they run across centuries, and they haven't gone. It's not just a detail that he was trained as a doctor. I don't care what he was. Well, I do care what he was like as a doctor. I think he was probably awful. There's a weird thing I read elsewhere on another platform in which somebody was saying, well, he's likely to, I'm not saying anything about your practice as a doctor before, and you're probably very good. I don't jump to that conclusion. I jumped to the conclusion that he was probably really bad, or at the very best, utterly mediocre, but probably was bad, actually. We've got some evidence for that. And we've got the present evidence for that. How could he have ever been a good doctor in any capacity in order for him to be doing what he's done now, and what he's done to other people and other families? How could he be? It's what confounds people, what beguiles them, what even charms them in a weird way. They're what's the word? Like they're spellbound. They're spellbound by psychopaths, and that's what we all are. And there's so many I'm not going to go through a list of them. There's so many in public life that have spellbound people. But a number of people have seen through him now, and they're finding him comical. I mean, I don't find him, well, I understand humor, and that's why maybe I'm trying to satirize him or whatever, but the truth is I find him horrific. He's a horror figure. He's a nightmare figure. This weird insect, I mean, nothing against insects, but insect-like figure from a nightmare. He's not the only one in the story, as it were, but he's the one that they had to have in there to make it work. And he was just waiting, or was he just waiting? I think he was teed up for it. If we had some idea of the level of actual collusion, this is stuff I've been saying for, well, years now. The actual collusion between this dark triumvirate of the police, Cheshire Police, Hummingbird, the consultants, and this insectile, vile creature, Evans, psychopathic bastard. If you saw all their WhatsApp messages, all their private messages, which will never come out, you'd be stunned. Well, you wouldn't be. Would you be stunned? I wouldn't be stunned. But it would be we've seen 0.0001% of the reality of what they did to get this through, to make it happen, and their attitudes while they were doing it. This is a bit all over the shop, this video. I don't care. I just... There's a song by Van Morrison, Inarticulate Speech of the Heart. And the truth is, this isn't This isn't a mental exercise for me. Yes, it's of the heart, and that's not me trying to say, oh, because how can it not? How can it not be for us? What? Why do we respond? Why do we? If you see the play, The Crucible, Arthur Miller's The Crucible, why is it almost like this? It ravages you, that play, if you allow yourself to suspend disbelief, and you see the wickedness and the evil unfolding before you, with some characters that share a lot in their makeup with Evans. And he would have done well in those times. He would have been such a travelling doctor of divinity or whatever they were. And he would have been ensuring that people would have been burnt, hanged, drowned, whatever they needed to do, pressed with great weight. And he would have been lapping it up. And he'd been lapping up the power that it afforded him. Crucial in respect of Evans, his desire for political power. And this is just another emanation of this. His idea to be the expert in the court is not to get to the truth. Truth doesn't matter to him. If he ever did a report which coincided approximately with the truth, that's just by happenstance. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to him whether it was true or not true. It's just that he's there doing it, and he's the powerful one doing it. There was a strange bit at the end about, which I'd not come across this, when Peter puts to him, were you at this February meeting in 2017? And he kind of dances around that in a strange kind of way. And he says things like, oh, I hadn't heard of that I don't think I've heard of that meeting, or I didn't know about that meeting, I think. He has his little, he teases you. He's teasing you. He's teasing Peter Alston all the way through it. He's teasing. He's playing like a cat with a mouse as he sees it. That's not what's happening, because, I mean, in reality, Peter, with incredible self-restraint and coolness and self-possession, keeps on at him like a tap dripping on, like a water dripping on stone. But that's precisely it. It's on stone. Yeah, maybe in like 90 years of that drip, you might see a bit of difference on this granite. But not in a year of emails. You're not going to see any difference in him. He's the same at the end as he is at the beginning. Nothing's changed for Evans. But he is But what does he reveal? He just reveals. He can't reveal anything else. He's done it already. We've seen it. It's the imperative. All the messages is that we need to get it through our heads. We need to step into a world that doesn't exist, a world of witches, in which somebody can say simply, this person was there, this thing happened, therefore this person did this thing, and they can do it just like that and make it and sanction it by law and punish somebody on that basis. And everything else around it, all the play acting, the medicalese, the fakeness, the pseudo specious rubbish all around it, is all to beguile you, is all to make you go, hold on, he kind of sounds like he's talking like a person who's thought about it a lot. No, like he told us what he was when he said it took him 10 minutes. They have to give away those little things to test it, almost as though these are like shit tests, as though people are going to go, well, He's got such power over, the psychopath has got such power over people. They can give it away and people still won't see it. I know people do see it. I know people have mentioned it all now. But millions of other people won't see it. People will go, well, God, thank God they got him in there because he did it in 10 minutes. They won't they won't dig into the reality of that because they're pulled into that psychosis, if you want to call it a psychosis, or wickedness, or evil, or demonic nature, whatever lens you want to use. This is a ramble because we shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be there. He should never have been there. He should never have been anywhere near any court at any time in his life. He should never have been a doctor. He should never have been in medicine. He shouldn't be, ideally, he shouldn't be in the world. Shouldn't have existed. But these aberrations, they're around us, and there's not a shortage of them. I'm talking about these entities in a human form without any conscience whatsoever. Very, very dangerous. Some of them are obvious, sort of more obvious thugs. And in a way, you got more of a chance of spotting them. But there are many, many more under all kinds of cloaks. Some of them are under the cloak of religion. This is under the cloak of this pseudo doctor. Yes, he managed to pass the exams. So have many evil people passed their exams to be given this title. It doesn't change what they are at heart. Denning revealed what he was. Denning passed all the law exams, was thought of as one of the finest judges in the best judging show, you know. But he revealed in that statement that he didn't give a fuck about justice. That's all. He revealed that he didn't care whether innocent people were in prison or not. And that's the most anti-justice you can possibly be, isn't it? And the fact that he would think it was all right to be like that is the same kind of psychopathy as Evans. And the game playing of it, because it's a game to them. And it's a game that they want to win in perpetuity. I better stop. I'm not, I thought I'm going to go through every bit of it. No, why? It's like, I mean, I hope other people do, because they, like I said in a comment, I haven't got a cool head about it. I haven't got a cool heart about it. I can't. But I've got it. We've got it already. Have we not got it already, what he is? Can't you see it already? How much more would you need before you recognize what's in front of you?